created it by hand. From mighty mountains to the raging sea, to every leaf on every single tree. It's in the holy book. Just open up and take a look. It's a story for young and old, the greatest story ever told. So lend an ear and you will hear the greatest story. The greatest story.
A long time ago, there were many, many people on the earth. And everyone did whatever they wanted to without love for each other. They cared more about themselves than they did about other people.
Yes, it is. Hey, come back here. Stop it.
God was very sad because everyone had forgotten his way. Everyone, that is, except for Noah and his family. Noah and his family worked very hard, and they kept all of God's ways in their hearts.
All right, that's enough for today. You boys can finish that tomorrow.
But Father, we almost had it. Just a few more minutes.
God knows how hard you work, Japheth, my boy, and so do I. But God also wants us to keep up our strength so that we can do His work.
You're right again, Father. You must be the wisest man in the world.
Me? Oh, no. I might be the happiest man in the world, but the wisest? I think not. But enough talking. We'd better hurry. I think we're having your mother's stew tonight, and we wouldn't want it to get cold.
Noah and his family had a hard life, but they loved each other very much, and they always had enough to eat. Noah never forgot that it was God who made all of those things possible.
And thank you, God, for everything you've given to me and my family. Thank you for the strength to work hard, and for fields that are good for growing, and for the food on our table. Amen.
Amen.
What's this? It sounds like we have visitors. Well, you must be hungry. Dear, will you please bring me a bit of meat and a bone from the stew? I think our friends need something to eat. All of God's creatures are important. There you go. Enjoy. Nothing like a good dinner, isn't that right?
You're a good man, Noah.
More?
One night after supper, everyone kissed Noah goodnight and went to bed. But Noah didn't go to bed at his usual time. He had a strange feeling.
You look sleepy, dear. Why don't you go to bed?
Are you coming?
Soon. I don't feel tired. I think I'll go out and look at the stars for a bit.
Noah went out of his house for some fresh air. He had a feeling he couldn't explain. He didn't know that God was leading him outside.
Ooh, what is this?
Noah?
God, is that you?
Yes, Noah, it is. Please listen to the important things I have to say to you. Noah, people do not love one another as they should. So I have decided to wash the earth with a flood and start over.
This is terrible news.
Don't be afraid, Noah. I'm telling you this because you are the only man who still has me in his heart. I have chosen you and your family to help me start over. Listen carefully. I want you to build a boat, Noah, an ark.
So much to do. Oh, I've got to get my boys and have them help me. Wake up! I need you to help me with a big project.
Ooh!
Yes, I'm serious. An ark. A big, big ark. It's okay. Go ahead and laugh. You'll see. This field should be big enough.
Build it from fresh, sticky wood. Make it 450 feet long, 75 feet across, and 45 feet high. Seal the planks with tar. And inside, build an upper, middle, and lower deck.
Hi, Father!
Hi!
Make an opening all the way around the ark, just below the upper deck.
Yay!
And last, put a door in the side big enough for the largest animals of the earth to walk through. Next, bring 2 of every animal on the earth with you, each with a safe place on the ark.
Noah and his family worked very hard.
Father, we're finished.
We have done well, my sons.
Where is this old man who says a flood is coming? Lead me to the crazy fool.
My father is no fool.
Only a fool would build a big silly boat in the middle of his field. Now let's take a good look at... You really are a crazy old man. Anyone who would do this...
You would be wise to listen to what I say. God has told me that a terrible flood is coming. So much to do, so little time.
Father?
It's fair to warn them, Shem.
Warn us about what? The flood that's never coming? Come on, let's get out of here. Let's leave this crazy old man alone.
There now. Thank you for helping us. I guess we made ourselves some friends, eh? And it looks like we have our first passengers. Now, if I can only figure out how we're going to find all the rest of the animals.
Shh, quiet now, you two. Can't you see he's trying to think?
Father, look!
It's a miracle!
And it was a miracle. God had done something wonderful. He'd brought 2 of every animal to the ark. And they were on their very best behavior. Even the lions lay down with the lambs.
Tigers? Wildebeests? Zebras? Whoa! God will protect us all. Well, that does it. Everybody's here.
What do we do now, Father?
We wait for the rain.
It doesn't look like we'll have to wait long, Father. Look!
Suddenly, the clouds began to gather and cold winds began to blow.
Noah, the time has come to take your family and the animals onto the ark. Soon the rain will start.
Let's go! Everybody on?
All clear down here. Ready. I'll close the door.
Don't be afraid, my dear. God will protect us all.
The rain covered the whole earth. Even the highest mountains disappeared underwater. Except for the animals and people on the ark, there was nothing else left. During their long trip, Noah and his family became very close with the animals. They were all good friends.
Groundhogs hide and monkeys climb and long-eared rabbits run. With this bunch, I have a hunch we'll have fantastic fun.
Hyenas laugh at the tall giraffes, skinny legs and neck. While toads amuse the kangaroos with leapfrog up on deck.
Noah and his floating zoo sail the ocean two by two, from the elephants to the tiny ants. We all are friends on the floating zoo.
Night owls hoot
And cattle moo, and dogs bark right along, while chimpanzees sing quite off key in this happy song. Noah and his floating zoo sail the ocean two by two, from the elephants to the tiny ants. We all are friends on the floating zoo. Friends on the floating zoo.
And the whole time, Noah watched to see when the rain would stop, but it just kept coming down. It rained and rained like it would never stop. It rained for a month, then another week. Then, after 40 days and 40 nights, the rain stopped. Noah was so excited, he called a family meeting.
I've called you all here because I have a surprise for you. The rain has stopped.
What? That's wonderful!
This is too good to be true. When do we get off?
Well, I think if all goes well, the ground should start to peek through in about another, 6 months or so.
Everybody was disappointed to hear this news because although they all loved one another, they were all pretty tired of being on that ark. But they waited patiently. Many months passed.
Well? What did you see? What did you see?
Same as always. Nothing but sea.
We're never going to get off this boat. How are we even going to know if the land is dry?
How are we even going to know if we're anywhere near land? This is hopeless.
Now, what kind of talk is that? Are you the same men who helped me build God's ark? Hasn't he looked out for us this long?
Of course. Father is right. But can we at least try to find out if there's any dry land?
This got Noah thinking. Finally, he got an idea. He went and got one of the ravens and brought him to the slit in the ark. Then he let him go. He thought if the raven found land, he might bring something back with him. But when the raven returned, he didn't bring anything with him. So Noah decided he would try letting a dove go.
Good luck.
But the dove returned with nothing as well. But Noah knew God wouldn't abandon them. He waited a while longer. Then, one last time, he sent out the dove again. This time, when the dove returned, it brought something back.
Oh, boy!
In its mouth, it carried a branch from an olive tree.
Father, this is wonderful news. We must be very close to dry land.
Yes, son. If you believe in God, he will save us all.
And you protected us too.
And sure enough, very soon, the ark landed on top of a tall mountain. When it was safe to come out, God spoke to Noah again.
Noah, you and your family and the animals can come out now. The earth is dry. Go out into the world and have many children, and tell them about me. And so you will always know that I won't ever flood the world again. I'm going to leave a gift in the sky after it rains. Something to remind you of my promise.
And so Noah and his family thanked God for all he had done for them. And Noah's sons had many, many good and strong children who loved God very much.
created it by hand. From mighty mountains to the raging sea, to every leaf on every single tree. It's in the holy book. Just open up and take a look. It's a story for young and old, the greatest story ever told. So lend an ear and you will hear the greatest story. The greatest story.
Many, many years ago in the land of Israel, the people were waiting for a very important event.
Left, right, left, right, left, right, left.
They'd heard the old story that one day God was going to send them a new king, a king who would protect them, bring them peace, and give the people more freedom.
When is the new king going to come anyway? Our parents, our grandparents, our great-grandparents promised he would.
They said he was coming.
Yeah, but when?
Even in King Herod's palace, people waited.
Faster, faster!
When will that new and better king get here?
What was that?
Nothing.
No talking aloud. You will eat only bread and water for the next 30 days. No, 50 days. Old stale bread. And only 4 drops of water. No, make that 3 drops of water a day. What are you looking at?
Then, one day, in the town of Nazareth, a young woman named Mary had a most amazing visitor, an angel.
Who are you?
Please don't be afraid, Mary. I am the angel Gabriel. I've come to bring good news.
News? For me?
God has chosen you from all the women of the world to be the mother of His Son.
God has chosen me? How can this be?
Everything is possible with God. You will have a son. He will be the Son of God, and you will call the baby Jesus.
Whatever God wants, I will do. Oh.
Mary loved a man named Joseph. One night, an angel came to Joseph in his dream.
Joseph, God has great and wonderful plans for you and Mary. Mary is going to have God's son. He will be God's promised king. Give him the name of Jesus and take good care of Mary and the baby king when he comes.
Mary. My Mary. God sent an angel to tell me about the child. I love you, Mary.
I love you too, Joseph.
Soon after, Mary and Joseph were married. It was right about at this time that Augustus Caesar, the emperor of the whole Roman Empire, wanted to count the people who lived under his rule.
25, 26, 27.
There are 692 people from the town of Hebron, and 839 from the town of Jericho.
Add it to the list. 28, 29, 30. I'm getting tired. Send servants out to count all the people in my land.
Everyone was ordered to go to their hometown so they could be counted. Joseph had to take Mary to Bethlehem, the town where he was from. Bethlehem was very far away,
Excuse me, shepherd. Do you know how far Bethlehem is?
It's a long trip. 70 miles from here.
Don't worry, Mary.
I won't. I feel very safe with you, Joseph.
For you see, Mary was expecting the new baby to arrive soon.
Thank you, shepherd.
God be with you.
And with you too.
By day, they traveled many miles.
We're more than halfway there.
I'm sure we'll be there in no time.
Here, Mary. It's nice and cool.
Thanks. I'm so thirsty.
At night, they slept in the open air. The next afternoon, they saw a sign. Bethlehem was only 3 miles away.
We're almost there.
Soon we'll be in a comfortable room at the inn.
There were many travelers in Bethlehem that night.
Where can I get a good meal?
Where's the inn? Where's a good place to stay?
Good evening, kind man. Can you tell us how to get to the inn?
Of course. Why not take the shortcut? Just go around this corner, then up the steep hill. You'll pass the granary, then go right, then left, then 2 rights, then your second left, then let's see. Right, left, and you're there.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Huh?
Excuse me. Do you know where the inn is?
Sure, it's right at the end of this street.
It is?
That's wonderful.
Thank you, little girl.
You're welcome. God be with you.
And with you too.
It was closer than we thought.
We're here.
Yes. Quit pushing.
I'd like a room for my wife and myself.
So would everyone. We have too many people here now. My husband keeps saying yes, yes, yes. Tonight, we'll have to sleep in the kitchen.
But we've been traveling for days.
What's going on here?
They want a room. What else?
I'm sorry. We really have no more space at all.
My wife is very tired.
We came from very far away.
Yes, so have a lot of people.
And my wife is expecting a baby.
I'll tell you what I can do. We have a stable out back. It's full of animals, but at least you'll have a roof over your heads. It'll be warmer and safer than sleeping out in the open.
Thank you. You're very kind.
Come, I'll show you. You have some important company. I hope you'll be comfortable here. It's the best I can do.
Thank you.
We're very grateful. Let's try and make the best of it.
During that night, a most wonderful thing happened. The baby was born, God's little son.
We'll call the baby Jesus.
Mary and Joseph loved their new baby boy very much.
I must wrap him to keep him warm and comfortable. The ox's feeding box. Jesus can sleep in here.
And so the baby Jesus lay in a manger, surrounded by the warmth of love and the protection of God, who was now ready to let all of heaven spread the news of the baby's birth. That night, just outside the town of Bethlehem, shepherds were watching their sheep.
How can you let your sheep walk around all night? He should be sleeping.
My sheep? That one is yours. You make him go to sleep.
I'm not going to walk way over there. You take care of him.
No, you.
No, you.
Look, it's no big deal. You just have to be nice to him, that's all.
What do you mean?
Just tell him to go to sleep.
Hey, sheep! Go to sleep!
Come over here, little guy. It's time to sleep. Come here, this way.
Greetings. Don't be afraid, shepherds. I bring good news of great joy. Tonight, a most wondrous thing has happened. Here in Bethlehem, the Son of God was born. He is Christ the Lord, the King that comes from God. His name is Jesus, and he is wrapped snugly in a manger.
A manger?
You can go see him right now. It is the happiest time of the world.
Whoa!
Wow. Ow!
Glory to God in the highest, peace on
A king in a manger? Right here in Bethlehem?
I always thought he'd be in a palace.
Let's go into town and see what the angel's talking about.
Let's go into town and see what the angel is talking about.
I just said that.
Then let's go.
Whoa! This way.
Hey, where are you going? Get back with the other sheep. Didn't I tell you to go back? Oh, all right. But you'd better behave. Sheep.
The angel was right. Look.
He's really there.
Hello there.
What brings you here?
We came to see the baby sent from God.
We know about him because an angel came and told us.
Then many angels came and sang about God's glory and peace on earth.
The angel said he'd be wrapped snugly and lying in a manger.
Just like this.
It's true. What the angel said is true.
The Son of God, the King, in a manger.
Mary's heart filled with wonder as the shepherds told their story. She knew that her newborn child was the Son of God. Meanwhile, in the far distant lands of the East, wise men who study the stars saw something new in the sky.
Oh dear, dear. Oh my. I beg your pardon.
Not at all. It was entirely my fault.
No, it was me, really. I wasn't looking where I was going. I was noticing that star.
But so was I.
What a coincidence. I was too. I study the stars.
So do I.
So do I.
Oh dear. Oh, dear. I am from the Far East.
I am from the Near East.
I am from the Mid-East. Have you ever been to the furthest east?
Yoo-hoo! Wise men! Down here! You fellas wouldn't by any chance happen to know where that big fat star came from?
This was just what we were wondering.
We've never seen that star before. It's a completely new star.
Unless...
Unless...
The star is a sign from God.
Of course! Oh, my. A sign from God? That has to be it.
The star is a sign from God? Yes, I see. No, I don't. What are you talking about?
You see, it is said that a new and bright star will be seen in the sky when the new king is born.
Really?
But there it is, the new and bright star.
It's also said that if we follow that star, it'll lead us to the new king.
A new king! He's come at last! The star is a sign!
So, are you going to follow it?
Absolutely.
Positively.
Certainly.
We're gonna follow that star as long as it takes, no matter how far, guiding us on to the child, the chosen one. Starlight, star bright, glimmer of hope, glorious sight. Shine on into the night. Lead us to our dream, the newborn king. Oh yeah. What will we see? A palace of gold, royalty. Maybe he'll shine just like the star for all time. Starlight, star bright, glimmer of hope, glorious sight. Shine on into the night. Lead us to our dream, the newborn king. Oh, starlight, star bright, glimmer of hope, glorious sight. Shine on into the night. Lead us to our dream, the newborn king. The newborn king, yeah, the newborn
Go west, wise men, and bring us the news.
So the wise men traveled far from the east. They kept following the star, never taking their eyes off it, not knowing where it would lead them.
Look, the star is over Israel.
We should go to the king's palace in Jerusalem.
The newborn king must be there.
Please forgive me, Your Majesty. I am so sorry to wake you, but the most unusual thing has happened.
Tell me what it is already. And it better be good, or I'll have you locked up.
Yes, of course, Your Majesty. It's just that there are wise men visiting from the east.
Yes, and?
Well, they say they have come to see the king.
So, send them in.
They say they've come to see the newborn king.
What are they talking about? Do they think I was born yesterday?
Perhaps they were thinking there was another king.
Another king? Absurd. Ridiculous. How can there be another king? And if there is someone pretending to be a king, I want to know where he is. He'll be sorry, I'll tell you that.
Yes, Your Majesty, of course, Your Majesty. But what shall I tell the wise men from the east?
Tell them to get lost. No. On second thought, get my advisors. And hurry. Advisors! Advisors! Get in here.
Yes, Your Majesty?
What do you know about this newborn king?
Oh, has he been born?
Has who been born?
The king.
I am the king.
We mean the other one.
What other one?
The one you speak of.
The one I speak of? I don't know anything about any king except that everyone else seems to know about him. Why wasn't I told? Nobody tells me a thing.
But we didn't know he was born yet.
Who?
The newborn king.
Okay, if you're so smart, just where is this newborn king?
The old stories say he will be born in Bethlehem.
The stories say that, do they? That'll be all. Send these wise men in at once. Who told you to stop? Keep those fans going. And the rest of you, get back to work.
Your Majesty, I present the wise men from the east.
King Herod, we have come to meet the newborn king.
And where did you hear of this king?
We saw the star that God put in the sky.
A star? From God?
A beautiful star.
A bright star.
A sign from God.
We knew that if we followed the star, it would lead us to the new king. We want to worship him.
This new king is not here.
Then where is he?
He's in Bethlehem. I'm not sure. Maybe you should go find him. Yes. See what I care. Go try and find him. And if you do find him, come and tell me where he is. I would like to worship the new king myself. Enough of that.
When the wise men left the palace, they looked into the sky and saw the star once again.
Look!
There it is!
On to Bethlehem.
The wise men followed the star right into Bethlehem.
Up this way.
Come on, everyone! Come see the newborn king!
And there, right above the manger, was the star. The wise men knew they had been guided to the right place.
The king is here.
We've traveled from distant lands
to celebrate the newborn king.
May we come in?
Please.
We knew the baby was born
because of the star.
We followed it all the way here.
We have brought gifts.
The wise men gave Jesus gold and sweet-smelling perfume and incense.
Thank you.
Thank you for letting us worship the King. We thank God for his great wisdom. He has sent us his Son.
Praise be to God! Hooray for the new king!
Praise be to God! Hooray for the new king!
The wise men never did go back to King Herod to tell him the good news about baby Jesus. Everyone rejoiced and thanked God for sending them his son, the new king of the world.